Hello, and welcome to Conquering Finale. My name is Jason Lafredo, and today we are once again at it with staff tool strategies. We're looking again at staff styles, specifically the copying and pasting of staff styles. And now you may be wondering, why am I spending a whole video on copying and pasting? Well, copying and pasting staff styles is a little bit involved, and if you're not completely aware of what's going on, you can actually kind of get in trouble with this. So I thought it would be worth doing a special video just on this. Hopefully it won't be too long. The first thing to know is that staff styles themselves must be set to be copyable. So if you go into the staff style definition dialog box, there's this attribute here called copyable. If this is unchecked for any particular staff style, when you try and copy and paste these measures into the next one, nothing's going to happen because that staff style is not copyable. As soon as you check that option for your staff style, then you can certainly copy and paste those measures and the staff style will copy over. Now, not all the staff styles will be copyable, and sometimes there's good reason to not allow it to be copyable. Sometimes there's good reason to allow it to be copyable, but you just kind of have to be aware of what's going on, and if a staff style is not copying over for some reason, that's a likely culprit of it. The other thing that's important to realize is that when you copy and paste measures that have a staff style in it, it not only copies the staff style, it also copies the data underneath it. So if I were to copy these two measures, and let me just show you what's in here. We have these little F and A chords, G and F chords for the F and G minor 7 chords there. If I were to actually copy and paste these measures over, thinking I'm just putting slashes over these two measures, well, I am, but I'm also copying the data underneath it, which is not going to, in this case, not going to be a great result having that weird situation there. So just be aware that you are copying and pasting the data underneath it. Now, it is possible to filter for the staff styles, and in fact, all you have to do is go into your filter, choose none, and on the right column here, there's an option for staff styles. And when you have just that checked, then you can certainly take all of these measures and copy and paste, and the only thing that gets copied and pasted is the staff style. In fact, if we look at underneath these measures, there we go. We can actually see the correct chords are still there. So just important to realize that copying and pasting without the filter can cause you some problems if you're not careful. The other thing that might be handy, particularly if you're using the filter, is that don't forget you can use the copy and paste multiple. So I'm going to copy here, and then instead of paste, I'm going to choose the paste multiple. And this will allow you to paste horizontally a certain number of times, 16 times. And again, I have the filter on, so I'm just pasting those staff styles. So if there was data underneath it, it would remain the way it's supposed to. So don't forget that the paste multiple is also a valuable tool when dealing with copying and pasting staff styles. Now, the other major thing that I want to talk about when copying and pasting staff styles has to do with linked parts. And if you look at this score right here, I've got this drum set part here, and I've got these 1-bar repeats, and they all have the proper data under it, so it's this bar just repeated 8 different times. And I do this quite often, and I'll do something like this, and I just want the next 8 bars to be exactly the same, so without the filter on. We will just copy and paste bars 1 through 8 into 9 through 16. And this is exactly what I want. It looks exactly the way I want it to. We restate that pattern in bar 9 and then get 8 bars of repeat, which is what I want to see. Except it doesn't copy and paste the staff styles in the linked part. So when you go to your drum set part, you'll see that only the first 8 measures have the 1-bar repeats. The rest of them do not. This is a huge problem. It's a huge annoyance, and it's again, you just have to understand that it's doing this. There's sort of a technical reason for this, and I believe the essence of it is that Finale doesn't want to assume the scope of the application of the staff style, so it's only copying and pasting the staff style locally, actually specifically to the score. It will only ever copy the staff style in the score. Now, of course, it's possible to have different staff styles in linked parts. So in this piano vocal part here, I have no staff style in the piano part, which uses the same staves. I have these rhythmic notation staff styles, but in the score for those first 4 measures, I have slashes. So it is possible to use different staff styles in different linked parts. So I think that might be part of why Finale is not wanting to assume that you want to copy and paste the staff style the same between the score and the parts. So they've sort of chosen to just constrict you to only copying and pasting the staff styles in the score. Interestingly, even in the part, if I were to go to the drum set part, if I were to try and copy 5 through 8 here into 17 through 20, you'll see that it won't even copy the staff style in the part itself, even though I'm doing it directly here. So it's just a weird thing that Finale just does not let you copy and paste staff styles in the part itself. Now, the remedy for this, and this is sort of how I usually end up doing this, is that I'll work in the score, particularly on a drum part like this, and get it the way I want it to look in the score. And then when I'm all done, I'll just click to the left of the drum set part, which will basically select the whole drum set part for the entire score. Make sure I'm in the staff tool, and then choose that option for use selected staff style for score and parts. And once I do that, it will filter out all of these staff styles. And remember, these staff styles can actually be different when I do this. So some of these measures could have 1-bar repeats, some could have 2-bar repeats, some could have slash, some could have rhythmic notation. All of the staff styles that are within this selection, so in other words, the entire drum set part in the score, will get filtered out and copied basically into the linked part itself. And so now you can see that the drum set part has all of the appropriate 1-bar repeats in it. So it's just sort of a tip for process, as it were. If you're going to be copying and pasting with staff styles, do it in the score so that everything appears the way you want it to. Select all for that part and make sure that you use selected staff style for scoring parts. Of course, if you're doing some weird things like I have with this piano part where you have different staff styles in different linked parts, then you're just going to have to be careful about that, and you might have to do that a little bit more manually and go to the specific part that you're looking at, or rather the piano part here in this case, and just make sure that you're applying directly in current part or score the particular staff style that you want. So you just kind of have to be a little bit conscious of what's going on here. Now, just to sort of wax poetic on the subject, if I had my way, if I could make any change in Finale, I kind of wish that Finale would allow you to copy and paste the staff styles however they happen to be across the score and parts. So, for instance, in that piano part, if it's slash notation in the score, but rhythmic notation in one of the parts, if I were to copy and paste the staff style from bars 1 and 2 into 3 and 4, it would copy the slash style in the score, but copy the rhythmic notation in the other linked part, or not copy or copy no staff style basically in the part where I'm not showing it. So I kind of wish that it would at least give you that option. Maybe there could be like an option to turn that on where you're copying staff styles similarly between scores and parts in that manner. But alas, maybe they haven't figured out how to do that yet, or it's just something. Maybe it's just a little bit too complicated for them to program that way. But anyway, this is it is what it is. This is how it functions. So again, just a little bit of knowledge on this front goes a long way. All right, so that's the idea. Hopefully this helps. It's sort of a really odd thing with staff styles, but like I said, once you kind of know, knowing is half the battle here. So hopefully this helps. All right, so thanks for watching. Next video, I think I'm going to give you a few other tips and tricks for some of the alternate notation styles, because there's a lot of flexibility there, and I think a neat little video on some tips and tricks will be a good idea. So, all right, so once again, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you soon on the next video.